If you are looking for a fast-growing and low-maintenance plant that will create an exotic atmosphere in your home, I suggest Philodendron Burle Marx. Not only is Philodendron Burle Marx low maintenance, but its leaves are extraordinary and eye-catching, of course. Although it is a great ground cover, Philodendron Burle Marx is also grown in pots as a house plant. It is best to place it near a window with bright colored curtains where the light will be bright but diffused. Philodendron Burle Marx plant is named after Roberto Burle Marx. Burle Marx was the first architect to use native plants in modern landscape designs. This philodendron from the Ariaceae family is a low-growing shrub. The leaves are heart-shaped but narrow. Like most philodendron plants, the leaves are also glossy and full of texture, but the stems are a fun red color. Philodendrons have been popular houseplants for a very long time. They've been popular at least as early as the Victorian era, according to the University of Vermont. This is because these plants are so easy to both grow and propagate, and they remove toxins from the air. The Philodendron Burle Marx plant is not an exception. People love this philodendron for its easy nature and small demeanor. If you're considering caring for one of these plants, you need to know how to care for them the correct way. The rich texture of the heart-shaped leaves and the great ability to adapt makes this philodendron a popular houseplant among plant enthusiasts. Philodendron Burle Marx is a small-sized plant, and the maximum height it can only usually reach is only 2 feet. Regarding the width, it grows between 2 or 4 feet. How to take care of this Philodendron Burle Marx? Let's go with the light requirement. The Philodendron Burle Marx enjoys bright but indirect light. It can also survive in a low light environment as well, but to really thrive, it needs the right amount of indirect sunlight. Direct sunlight can seriously damage the plant. It can cause black scorch marks on the leaves, discolor them, or even burn right through them. To create the perfect environment for your plant, try to find a spot for it where it can get enough natural light without being exposed to direct sunlight. Place your plant in a north or east-facing window. Let's go directly with the water requirement. When it comes to watering your Philodendron Burle Marx, you should follow the watering methods for most philodendron plants. The very first goal is to keep the soil moist while making sure you don't overwater your plant, nor dry the soil out. Overwatering can easily lead to different plant diseases and can cause root rot. Although there is a difference between watering requirements during different seasons, Water your plant regularly through spring and summer, keeping the soil moist all of the time. But during the colder seasons, you can let the soil dry out a bit between waterings. Let's go with the soil requirement. The Philodendron Burle Marx plant enjoys well-drained soil. Thanks to its ability to access water drains through the drainage hole on the bottom of the pot. This type of soil is perfect to prevent extra water from building up in the soil. In case of overwatering, water blocks oxygen from getting through the roots, and the lack of oxygen can quickly lead to root rot. The very first sign of the roots rotting away is a significant change of color. The roots will slowly turn dark brown or black. Another sign is the typical rotting smell. To prevent the unlucky effects of overwatering, I recommended using sphagnum peat moss of 100% peat perlite. One of the major reasons is that while they provide perfect aeration, these soils can also hold into the water for your philodendron plant. On the contrary, avoid clay and clay-like materials as they don't have the ability to hold as much water as your plant will need to stay hydrated. Another plant care tips: aim for good quality acidic or mildly acidic soil and make sure that the pH level of the soil mixture is between 5.6 pH and 6.5 pH. Let's go with the temperature requirement. The ideal temperature for a philodendron plant is between 60 degrees Fahrenheit or equivalent to 16 degrees Celsius and 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius. Lower temperatures than this range can significantly slow down the growth of your plant. If the temperature drops below 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius, your plant will stop growing. Let's now go to humidity requirement. As a tropical plant, Philodendron Burle Marx enjoys high levels of humidity. While they can survive in rooms with low humidity, they won't be able to reach their full potential. Luckily, you have a lot of options to keep moisture in air in order to copy the tropical climate your plant can truly thrive in. Let's go with fertilizer requirement. To help your philodendron plant grow, use a good quality slow-release fertilizer or an all-purpose fertilizer. Whichever you choose, the most important thing is to use a fertilizer that is high in nitrogen. I recommend feeding your plant once a week during the growing period, and as the cold weather arrives, reduce it to once a month. Water your plant to make sure the soil is moist before you feed your plant. If the soil is dry during feeding, the fertilizer can seriously damage the roots. As the roots become compact and form a tight ball, you will know that it is time to repot your plant. Prepare a pot that is 2 to 3 inches larger than the previous pot, so your plant can have plenty of room to stretch and grow. Schedule the repotting before the growing seasons. A good timing is the second part of the winter or early spring, just before your philodendron begins to grow new leaves.